before stepping out the door this morning. The honeymoon of our mild winter weather is over. People across the valley are waking up to temperatures well below zero on this Wednesday morning.
Add in that wind chill, you have conditions. They're just downright dangerous if you're not prepared for it. Even that dash from the front door just to the car, well, it can go seriously wrong if you're caught with the wrong clothing on. Now, the Valley Today's Brian Sherrod, he joins us live with what you need to know to keep yourself and your family safe from these bone-chilling temperatures. Good morning, Brian. How's it feel out there?
Well, good morning, Jordan and Lisa. And it feels pretty well. I feel warm because I've been going in and out the car every, few minutes, but also at the same time, I'm dressed with layers down. So I feel pretty good. My nose hairs still feel a little cold, but other than that, I still feel warm for the most part. So being on University, right behind me, you'll be able to see, they'll show you the temperatures, just like what I'm talking about right now. But North Dakota and Minnesota's Department of Health wants to prevent frostbite and hypothermia with these really cold temperatures. So the more you're out here, the higher your risk of you getting those two conditions. Now, to know frostbite, skin will initially turn red to proceed to white or a grayish yellow. Also feels weirdly firm or wax-like. Hypothermia impacts the brain when your body temperature gets too low. It impacts the way you think or even how you move. Get into a warm room or vehicle as soon as possible. Stay off of frostbitten feet or toes because that will increase the damage. When dressing yourselves, cover every part of your body and don't leave any exposed areas. And when I say that, kind of like what I'm doing right now. Now, I do have on 2 hats, so I'm being a little different because my head was kind of cold. I do have on about 4 layers of longer sleeve materials. I have on 3 pairs of pants and boots. Maybe I'm overdressed, but it beats being cold and getting frostbite or hypothermia. Also letting you know in your car, make sure you have an ice scraper, food, water. You want to have jumper cables as well to prepare yourself just for these temperatures. And when Jordan and Lisa just mentioned running to the car, also be careful because it is slippery out there from the snow that never melted, so you don't want to trip and fall either.
Yeah, this is not the kind of weather you want to be on the ground, with a sprained ankle or a broken bone.
Needing help from another person because you never know when you can get it, and frostbite, it sets in real quickly. So Brian Sherrod, thanks for reporting live. Good idea with the layers. Now head back in that vehicle and warm up. You definitely deserve it. And speaking of the vehicle, it was the kind of morning I park outside. I did the sign of the cross before I started the truck this morning, and I was like, please, Lord Jesus, let her start. And there, and it looks like it did. It is cold out there. Morning, Lisa.
Oh, good morning. Yes, I'm glad your vehicle started. You're definitely going to want to get that warmed up so it's nice and toasty inside for you here today too, because you're going to be chilled pretty quickly when you step out the door, as Brian was just showing us. Here's a look at our wind chill advisory rather. Grand Forks, Fargo included in this, much of the valley included. We could see wind chills as low as 40 below, and that's happened this morning. In Langdon, we did drop to 40 below earlier, and our current wind chill is 36 below. So it's just a frigid one anywhere where we have that combination of extreme cold and those winds. Fargo, 26 below your current wind chill, 19 below in Grand Forks, but that is our air temperature. So not much wind there. Same thing in Baudette. We're very low there for your temperature, but the wind chill is the same at 27 below. Here's a look at that as we switch to your temperatures. And that's because Northern Valley, that's where we don't really have much wind at all. And so it's just plain cold there, dangerously so. In Baudette, Bemidji, both at 27 below for your current readings and our lowest numbers on the map here this morning. Fargo, our temperature, not factoring in the wind, is 9 below. So it's a little breezier in the south, and that's having an impact on your wind chills. You can see that. We've got winds that are between more 5 to 10 miles per hour in the Southern Valley, whereas up north we're looking at some calm conditions right now. So we also have a few flakes down in the south, some flurries affecting us in Fargo and back over toward Jamestown. Up north we're more clear. It's again a lot colder there as a result of the lighter wind and clear skies in that area. So a quick look at your hour-by-hour planner. The numbers in pink, those are your wind chills, and in white, that's your air temperature. And keep an eye on those as we head through the day. We're going to see those numbers rise. After sunrise, we'll start to see that temperature start to lift here, but it's still going to be a cold day. We're talking some temperatures into the single digits in the south to maybe some low teens down by the South Dakota line. And up north, your afternoon highs closer to 0, though a couple of us may stay below 0. Still a big improvement improvement from this morning. Just keep in mind, wind chills will still be in the teens below for some of us this afternoon. Into tonight, we will watch as temperatures initially drop, but then we start to get a southeasterly wind kicking in, and that starts the warming trend. So tomorrow won't be nearly as frigid as today. Still cold, but not as bad. And we continue to climb from there into the weekend. So back into some 20s, much more tolerable conditions for the end of the week.
Thank you, Lisa.
New this morning, the longest-serving member of the U.S. Senate spent part of the night in the hospital after complaining of feeling sick.
80-year-old Democrat Patrick Leahy of Vermont was taken in for observation after being examined by Congress's attending physician. Aides now say he's resting at home. A 65-year-old North Dakota man is going to prison for 30 years for raping 6 children under the age of 12.
Roger Dakota of Belcourt assaulted the children while he was a foster parent. Investigators say that he admitted to the assaults, claiming that he was feeling helpless, so he turned to the helpless. A Minnesota judge has ruled that information about George Floyd's prior arrests cannot be used at the trial of the 4 former Minneapolis police officers charged in his death. But Judge Peter Cahill says the jury can hear about 2 prior cases involving Derek Chauvin. Now he is the officer accused of kneeling on the handcuffed Floyd's neck while Floyd pleaded for help.
In one case, Chauvin knelt on the neck of a woman who was pinned on the ground. In the other, Chauvin saw 2 other officers place a man in a side recovery position. The judge says he will explain his reasoning for these 2 decisions at a later date. A Fargo woman is raising money in hopes of helping a man she's never met get on his feet again. And it all started with a Facebook post. The picture of a car packed with stuff was posted to the Fargo Can't Park page. Many group members said that the car belonged to a homeless veteran. Tricia Lake set up a GoFundMe account to raise $7,800 for a year's rent and a security deposit. There's a link if you would like to donate. Just use our VNL News app and click on this story. A federal appeals court has upheld a district judge's decision to order a full environmental impact review of the Dakota Access Pipeline, but has declined to shut the line down while the review is completed. A U.S. district judge ruled last year that a more extensive review was necessary than the assessment conducted earlier by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The pipeline crosses beneath the Missouri River just north of the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation that straddles the North Dakota-South Dakota state line.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is proposing raising taxes on the wealthiest Minnesotans and large companies to help plug a projected $1.28 billion gap in the next 2-year budget. His budget plan, announced the other day, also increases spending on education and on helping the state recover from the coronavirus. The governor's proposal is estimated at $52.4 billion. Republicans who control the Minnesota Senate say they will not accept tax increases to balance the budget and instead say the state should tighten its belt, cut spending, and tap into budget reserves. The White House is aiming to ramp up the nation's COVID-19 vaccination effort. President Biden says the federal government will soon be shipping 10 million doses a week to the states. Now that is a 16% increase over the current level. The president is also announcing plans to buy another 200 million doses from Moderna and Pfizer. Sanford Health says your position in line for that COVID-19 vaccine, it might be about to change because of a new algorithm that they're developing.
This comes after that White House announcement about boosting the amount of vaccines to help fix a nationwide shortage. The algorithm is a process for who's next in line based on a list of people who have had COVID, compared with what the state and CDC recommends. Essentia Health tells us that North Dakotans 75 and older and Minnesotans 65 and older are the first to get the vaccine.
There is a new hotline for people in Clay County who have questions about the vaccine. The information line is 218-299-7204.
The focus is still on the 1A priority group, which is a huge group for Clay County. But as schools return to in-person learning, another priority group is having school and college students and athletes get tested.
We now want to get the answer to our question of the morning on Facebook. That question today, 10% of football fans will do this in the next couple of weeks to get ready for the big game.
The answer, buy a new team jersey. It's all about the gear and looking good for that Super Bowl party.
You got to make sure you're repping the team, even if the Minnesota Vikings aren't in it per usual. But hey, what's new in Minnesota? Anyway, the Today Show and CBS This Morning just about to start. Valley Today rolls on. More live up-to-the-minute news and weather coming up right now, including Lisa Green as she's tracking that dangerous cold. Stick around for that on the Fargo CW.